Here's a short practice to give you a little bit of a break during your day. It can be done first thing in the morning, in the afternoon, or even an evening routine. So for this practice, you'll need a blanket or a bath towel, and you'll just need a strap. You can also use a bathrobe tie if you don't have a yoga belt. We'll start by lying on a roll to create some opening through the shoulders. So if you have your towel or your blanket, and you can start in a rectangle shape, and then lay it down and roll it up so it's kind of firm and it's in this cylinder shape. And then we'll take the roll and place it the long way. And there's a bottom edge and a top edge, of course. And so the bottom edge here, that's closest to me, is where I'm going to place the bottom of my shoulder blades. You could also think about this if you're not sure exactly where to put your body or to rest yourself on this. You would look at the bottom of your breastbone, so where the ribs to the side come up into the center, and there's the bottom of the breastbone, and go right opposite that in the back. So that would be about where you'd want to have this edge of the blanket. So you can sit on the floor in front of your blanket, and then again, just sense where that part of your body is near the lower shoulder blades, bottom of the rib cage. And you can keep your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Now, if you find that your chin is tilted up towards the sky a little bit, or your neck feels a bit tight or crunchy, you could take another small pillow or a towel and place it under your head as well. And you can have your hands to rest on your torso or hands to rest on the floor alongside your body. And we'll just be here for just a few moments just to help settle and relax the front of the shoulders, the arms. Feel free to close your eyes, or you can keep the eyes softly open. Gentle breathing through your nose. And just feeling the parts of your body that make a connection to the floor. Feel your feet, the back of your pelvis. Feel your arms and where the spine rests on your blanket. Feel the back of the head resting on its support. And just a few more slow, easy breaths. There's no need to breathe very deeply. You're just allowing your breath to flow naturally on its own. And now we'll take your strap. If your strap is long, you can fold it in half so it's a little bit more organized. And then bringing your arms up towards the sky. And again, just letting the shoulders relax. You can even let the fingers relax here as you hold the strap. And then slowly start to drift the arms towards the wall behind you. And then back up towards the sky. And drifting the arms towards the wall behind you. And back up towards the sky. I'm just doing a few more of these. Nice and easy here. Keeping the movement focused primarily of the arm in the shoulder socket. So the ribs stay relaxed, the tops of the shoulders are relaxed, and there's ease through the breath. Just do a couple more here at your own pace. And then release your strap away. Relax your arms again as you just enjoy 2 or 3 breaths here. And then you can roll off to one side, move your blanket support away, and lie back down onto your back. And bring your feet to stand on the floor, the knees bent, feet about hip distance apart. Relaxing your arms by your side. And then slowly lifting up into a little bridge. Pausing here. Shoulders relaxed, eyes are soft. And then lowering back down. Sometimes when we work with bridge pose, we'll peel the spine off the floor 1 vertebrae at a time, where you lift the lower body and then the low back, the mid back, to the resting to the top of the shoulders. And then you might peel yourself down as well. And that is one way to do bridge pose. Another way that I like to explore bridge pose is to bring my thumbs onto the base of my ribs and my pinky fingers at the 2 front hip bones in the front of my pelvis. And I maintain the connection between the ribs and the pelvis with my fingers here for awareness. And I lift up into a bridge. So I'm not peeling my spine off the floor in this variation. And then I can hold for a few breaths. Just feel the strength of your legs. Feel the ease through your neck and jaw. And then when you go to lower down, maintain that connection between the ribs and the pelvis as you lower. Coming back to the floor. Let's try that one more time if you like. You can keep your fingers where they are, the thumbs at the ribs and the pinky fingers near the hip points. And coming up slowly with some balance between the ribs and the pelvis, lifting. Easy breathing. And then lowering all the way back down. Now, we'll take your strap once again and place it around the ball of your right foot. Holding one strap in each hand, and if your strap is long enough, you can bring your elbows to the floor. I'm going to keep my left foot flat on the floor and the knee bent. And then slowly extending the right leg. Doesn't have to be all the way straight here. And then bringing the knee in towards the chest a little bit. And then extending the leg and floating it away. Keeping it just hovering from the floor. And again, bringing the right knee in a little more. And then extending and reaching the right leg away. So one thing that I like to be mindful of when I'm bringing my leg into this motion is that my pelvis is staying really quiet. My lower back is not pressing into the floor. So the movement is coming more purely just through my leg in the hip socket. So to show you what the contrast would be, if you were to pull your knee in quite strongly, you might see my pelvis tuck and my back flatten into the floor. Now that is a movement, certainly, but the movement that we're looking for today, we start with more of a neutral pelvis and just letting that natural curve come into the low back if it's there. And then only bring the knee in as far as the pelvis doesn't flatten or tuck into the floor. And then as you extend the legs slowly, you can keep as much support as you need to with your foot on the strap. So then the next time that your leg goes straight, we're still on the right leg here, we're going to float it up towards the sky. And then just hold one strap in each hand here. Flex and point through your right foot a little bit, moving through the ankle, stretching through the back of your right calf and thigh. And then go ahead and take the strap away. And you can relax your legs for a moment. Just notice what you might feel on one side versus the other. And then we'll take the strap around the ball of the left foot and bring that leg up towards the sky. Now again, if we pull the knee in quite strongly, that might flatten your back into the floor, which means your pelvis tucked a little bit. So in this variation, only bring the leg up as far as your pelvis stays more neutral and you just feel that little bit of space there in between the floor and your lower back. And then we'll try to focus on just moving the leg in the hip socket. So knee comes in, leg extends, floating it just away from the floor an inch. Knee comes in, leg extends, and pause. And again, just the leg in the pelvis here. So we're getting a lot of nice, good movement for our hips and a little bit for our core. Just moving in a range that feels comfortable for you and that your spine is staying fairly neutral. Stay with your breath. And then after the next one, keeping the leg a little straighter, then bring the leg up with the strap, pausing here, and then flex and point through the ankle. A little stretch for the back of the calves and thighs. And then go ahead and take your strap away. And let's roll over to one side. Now we're going to come up into a tabletop position on your hands and knees. You can always take a blanket and place extra blanket under your knees if you like. And you can also put your hands onto blocks. So sometimes if you have tenderness in the wrists or it's just difficult for you to have your hands on the floor, bringing your hands up on blocks can be helpful. All right. So for this next part, in this table position, I'm going to keep the right arm straight. So this is my right arm. I'm going to take my left hand and reach it behind my right arm and find my right shoulder blade here, so with my fingers. And then from there, I'm going to slowly rotate my torso, ribs, towards the right arm. Now, the right arm is staying relatively straight. My spine is neutral. And then I'm rotating back to center. And then rotating towards the right arm. And back to center. And rotating towards the right arm. And back to center. So what's rotating here is my rib cage. My pelvis, my legs are staying fairly neutral. This can be a really nice way to create some freedom in the shoulder girdle and the rib cage. And then we'll put the left hand back down. Take the right hand, reach it behind the left arm, find the left shoulder blade, just that outside of the blade there. Keeping the left elbow fairly straight. I'm going to rotate towards the left arm and then come back to center. And rotate towards the left arm and back to center. Now, with your head, try to keep your nose in line with your breastbone as you're rotating so that you don't turn too quickly through the head and neck. All right, and then go ahead and bring both hands back to the floor. You can walk your hands forward and walk your hips back or stretch your hips back a little. Toes can be tucked under, or you can have the tops of the feet flat on the floor. Try not to push your chest down towards the floor too much, just stretching back nice and long. And then walking yourself back. We're going to bring the left leg forward into a lunge pose, keeping the right knee down on the floor. You can place your hands on the front thigh or hands at the pelvis, and let's just lunge forward and back. So this is a movement through your hips and legs. Your spine is staying fairly neutral, fairly upright and relaxed. Again, you can have some padding on this back knee for support. And then coming upright, hands to the heart. Take a twist towards the left. Bring your right hand to the front knee, and the left arm just reaches back. And we'll pause here for a brief twist. Nice, slow breathing. And return to center. We'll switch legs. So left knee stays down, right leg comes forward. Walking your front foot a little forward if you like, and you can have hands on the front thigh, hands on the sides of the pelvis, and we're just lunging forward and back. Moving in a range here that honors your hips, your knees, and even a little bit through the front ankle. Torso stays upright and relaxed. And then pausing in the center, hands to the heart. Take a little twist to the right. Left hand comes to the knee. Right arm reaches back. Enjoying a few breaths here in this twist. Soft gaze, soft eyes. And then returning back to center. Now from this position, we're just going to step into a standing position, however you like to get there. And I'd like you to take a wider step between your feet, maybe a little wider than shoulders. And we're just going to bend one knee at a time and shift slowly side to side. Now when I do this position, when I'm working with this side lunging pose, I really want to be mindful that my knee stays behind the toes, just in this variation today. So the bum goes back as I shift off to one side. If you want to, you can add a little reach through the arms. This is maybe if you want a little more energy in your practice, or if you want to stay in a more quiet, grounded place, you can just keep your hands on your hips or your legs. And then slowly coming back all the way up to standing. Step your feet back towards one another. And just pause a moment in mountain pose now. Connecting down into the earth. And then standing on your right foot, bring your left heel off the floor. Stay on the ball of the left foot on the ground here. And then rotate your left leg out and in. So that this is a movement through the leg in the pelvis. So the pelvis doesn't turn with the rotation of your leg in the hip socket. And then we'll keep the rotation here, the external rotation of this left leg, and bring the foot up into tree pose. You can have the hands to the heart, or take the arms into cactus, or maybe out into a nice wide V here. Soft gaze. If you need a wall for support, that's always a good option. And then bring the hands to the heart, bring the foot back down to the floor. We'll do the other side now, so standing on your left leg, just lift the right heel, keep the ball of the foot down, and we'll rotate the leg bone in the hip socket. So the femur, the thigh bones rotating in and out. And that's some nice work for your external rotators here in the right hip. Pelvis stays quiet, and then keep the external rotation and bring the foot up onto the leg, and you can take tree pose again. Hands come to the heart, maybe out to the side or out into a wide V. Feel the ground beneath your left foot here. Steady earth. Hands come releasing the right foot down and release your hands. All right, so now we're going to come down into a seat. So if you have a bolster or you can sit on a couple of blankets, you could also sit in a chair if the sitting on the floor is not comfortable for you or not appropriate. So I'm going to sit on my bolster and I'm sitting cross-legged. Again, you can take a seat however you like, in a chair is great as well. We're just going to finish with some side bends. So I'm going to have you take your right hand fingertips towards the floor. Bring your left fingertips to the head of your shoulder. Now we'll do a little side bend towards the right here. Keep the sit bones fairly level, and then raising this left elbow up and down. So keep the fingertips at the head of the shoulder, raising the elbow up and down. So you'll feel some nice movement of the arm and the shoulder socket. You can stay right here with this, or if you like, you can bring the left arm and reach it alongside the ear. Nice slow breathing. And then slowly rising up, we'll bring our side bend to the other side. Left fingertips come down to the floor. So side bend through your torso. Bring your right fingertips to the head of the shoulder. And then start to lift and lower the elbow in this side plane. Just keep this motion focused on the arm bone in the shoulder socket, so shoulder doesn't hike up towards ear. Easy neck and jaw. And then you can stay right here if that's good, or add the reach through the right arm. Gentle breaths along the right side of the torso. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Excellent. Let's bring our fingertips to touch the tips of the index finger to the tip of the thumb. And then turn the palms open to the sky, bringing the hands to the legs. So we have our classic meditation mudra. Hand gesture here, and you can either close your eyes or keep the eyes softly open. Just taking a moment to sense the sounds that are coming into your awareness. Sounds in your room, maybe sounds outside. Just letting the sounds come into your awareness. We don't have to seek for sound. Welcoming in sounds into the moment. Perhaps feeling the flow of air at the tips of the nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Noticing any sensations through your body, moment to moment awareness. And you can stay with whichever anchor works best for you, perhaps welcoming in sounds, or noticing the breath at the base of the nostrils, or perhaps welcoming sensations in your body. Feel free to stay here as long as feels right for you. And for now, I'll bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, and I thank you for practicing with me.